how's a nice way to put this? When I first started, we didn't give a shit whether the customer was satisfied, happy, or unhappy. Didn't matter. We didn't care if we would ever see you again. Yeah, I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's rock and roll.
You know what's going on Thursday?
We're doing the Thanksgiving giveaway.
A thanks giveaway.
The thanks giveaway.
Yeah, thanks giveaway. And I believe we're live streaming that at 4 o'clock.
4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m.
And Arizona time.
And maybe 1 p.m. Central.
I don't know. Whatever. But here's your choices. You could either be watching bad football.
Really bad football.
Okay. Or bad live stream. Now, if it were me, and only if it were me, I'd go with the bad live stream. I guarantee it will be a hell of a lot more entertaining than that bad football.
Yeah, please join us. We're giving away all the t-shirts that we've been... And we should mention, comment on this video to win a free t-shirt. Because the browser extension comes out this week, but it's not out yet. Sure it does. We're announcing it on the live stream.
Sure we are.
Today's video topic is a fun one. Okay?
For who?
For the people watching it.
Okay, good. Yes.
Title of the video is something along the lines of things that car salespeople used to be able to get away with, that they can't get away with anymore.
Well, we can't rule out lying, can
we? Used to lie, they still lie. So when you started your career in the 70s.
Yes.
It was in the 77.
70s, yes, in the 70s,
In the 70s.
Yeah.
Were there some things in the industry that you could get away with or that you were allowed to do that if they happened nowadays, we'd probably have really good content because we'd make videos about the fact that someone tried to do it, and B, it's probably illegal or close to illegal.
Well, by the late 70s, all vehicles, trucks and cars, had Monroe labels. So every vehicle,
window sticker.
Every vehicle had a window sticker from the manufacturer as to what the manufacturer's suggested retail price was. Prior to that, on pickup trucks, they didn't have window stickers.
So you sold cars during a time when pickup trucks didn't have window stickers.
Okay, yeah, I thought I just said that.
I'm just like, that's incredible to me.
So that the asking price of the truck was based entirely upon the enthusiasm of the prospective customer.
Are you serious?
Well, what else do you think you'd base it on?
So if I came in and I was hot to trot on what's a 1970s pickup truck?
It could have been a Ford F-150 for all I know.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So if I came in hot to trot, that would determine the price?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there was no suggested retail selling price. It was whatever the market would bear selling price.
Do you remember specific stories of making lots of money on car deals in the 70s versus,
I didn't work at stores that had... But you're asking me about things and that's one of them. And then thankfully, the Congress passed a law that required manufacturers to put a suggested retail sticker on every vehicle to list the vehicle, what it was, the VIN number, what equipment it came with.
Senator Monroe.
Yeah, so that everything became standardized. Yeah. So salespeople couldn't take advantage of unsuspecting customers who just happened to... I gotta have that truck.
Yeah, so my dad wrote this guide about Monroe stickers, the history of them, what's included on them, the associated, sometimes you'll see a dealer addendum sticker as well. All that'll be linked down below in the description, or I'll try and put it up in the box wherever it shows up.
Somewhere.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sold cars in an era where there weren't Monroe stickers. You were working at a Nissan and I guess it was Datsun at the time.
Datsun.
A Datsun dealership.
Not Datsun. Datsun.
Datsun.
Yeah. Even though it was spelled Datsun.
Thank you.
It was Datsun.
Datsun dealership. Yeah. So you weren't selling trucks, but they did.
Well, we had the little pickup trucks. I remember I took one as a demo, and I lived in Cherry Hill at the time, and I was working in Pleasantville down here at the shore, and I would drive the White Horse Pike, and the White Horse Pike was a 4-lane road, and it was. It wasn't a really well-paved 4-lane road, and I had this little Datsun King Cab pickup truck, and it didn't have the greatest suspension in the world, and when you'd hit bumps, you'd kind of go up like that, and I swear there were dents in the roof of that truck from my head, and I just thought, this will make a cute demo. And after about a week, I said, "The hell with this," and I got into a car.
That's funny.
Yes, yes.
All right. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
So, all right. So we had things that you could do in the past that you can't do today.
Yeah.
Customer comes in hot to trot. There is no MSRP that they're aware of, so the price is whatever we come up with.
Yeah.
Were there any other things that came to mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
There would be situations where somebody would want to buy a vehicle and they didn't have a down payment, and we knew that the bank was going to require a down payment in order to be able to get them a bank loan.
Okay.
Now, in these days, you didn't have anything like a fax machine.
So we're talking like the 80s?
We're talking the 70s. The 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a fax machine. You couldn't get an instant approval from a bank. So you literally, my bank rep, his name was Dick Peterman, or to be a correct I'm sorry, because you didn't want to be gender specific at the time. So anyway, so I used to have to call up and I'd get Dick on the line.
Yeah.
And I would have to read him the credit application and he would fill it out. And then they would gather however they gathered the information at that point in time. And in a day or two, we would get an approval, hopefully.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we knew that the bank was going to require 10% down or whatever it was, and we knew the customer didn't have the 10% down. So what we would do is we would make arrangements to take them to beneficial finance, or Household Finance Corporation, HFC. They were the two independent small lenders out there at the time.
Yeah.
And we'd get them approved for their down payment loan that the bank would never know about.
Wow.
Okay, so we would sign them up for a 2-year or 3-year loan for $1,000 or $1,500, whatever it was, from HFC or Beneficial, and that would they had to use
the down payment
that the bank thought that the customer had. Well, they did once they borrowed it. So
they were taking out loans to take out other loans.
Exactly.
And you were facilitating this.
And we were facilitating that because even though the bank didn't want to finance 100%, the customer might have. And did. And that was how we could facilitate the customer being able to finance 100% of the purchase.
And that was the 70s and early 80s?
Yes, yes.
You can't do that nowadays.
Well, nowadays, a lot of customers actually do that by putting their down payment on their credit card.
It's funny you mention that because, you're taking on debt, essentially.
That's another loan, yes.
Yeah.
Which should count against your debt-to-income ratio.
Yeah, that's
when you think about it.
Yeah. Wow, but I just like the whole idea of like the car salesman facilitating that,
Yes.
and I'm imagining in the 70s, like you smoking a cigarette or something like that as you're doing it too. It's like it's very
absolutely.
It's very,
Hell,
like,
in the
stereotypical.
70s, we used to, the customers and the salespeople all used to smoke together. Inside a dealership, you were actually allowed to smoke indoors, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't against the law at that time. You could smoke indoors, and you could smoke indoors with your customer.
Wow.
So that, hey, we both need a cigarette, Brett. And you'd have a cigarette, and yeah.
The whole notion of being a car salesman feels so different then than it does now, but also then so similar in the sense that there's all the distrust and like...
There's still distrust.
But it seems like maybe when you were doing it in the 70s and 80s, it was more of a profession? No, you were still really...
Yeah. No, it was not more of a profession back then. It's more of a profession today than it was back then.
Yeah.
Back then it was, like every flim-flam man in America said, well, I can sell cars. And just about every dealership said, well, I can hire those people, and they did.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, in the 70s, there wasn't anything called customer satisfaction index. We didn't care if the customer was happy. All we cared about was the fact that we separated them from their money, and we sold a car.
Yeah.
Okay. And then somewhere along the line, manufacturers said, well, wouldn't it be nice if our customers were actually happy where they bought their car?
It's a novel concept.
Yeah, and that they might become loyal, A, to the brand, and B, to the dealership where they bought the car. So that was when suddenly, and I guess J.D. Power probably had something to do with it, that's where suddenly it became important to get good customer satisfaction scores. And that's when the surveys started to happen.
See, that's another distinction between when you used to sell cars and today. Like,
Yes.
you lived in an era
Yes.
where there weren't
Yes.
customer satisfaction surveys.
When I first started, how's a nice way to put this? When I first started, we didn't give a shit whether the customer was satisfied, happy, or unhappy. Didn't matter. We didn't care if we would ever see you again. But then suddenly, the manufacturer sent me to training. And that's when I learned that you as the customer were the most important people in my life. Okay? And I had to treat you differently.
Yeah.
They sent me to like sensitivity classes so that I could wise up and understand and appreciate that there's value in establishing a relationship with a customer that lasts longer than just a single transaction.
If this is the first time you've ever watched one of our videos, the Theorato Advocate channel, go look at any of the other 200 or go to Deal School. Like, my dad's sharing things from the past, which are the past. And in the present, we are like wholeheartedly supporting the advocacy of going through the car buying process. So in case this is the first time you're ever watching us,
well, the whole concept
we're not sleazy salespeople.
No, the whole concept of our channel today is to try and disrupt the automobile industry and change how it is that cars are sold in America to make it more customer-centric.
Put that on a frickin' shirt and I'd wear it.
I don't think it'll fit, but it'd be more like a paragraph. But the truth of the matter is, 43 years ago or 44 years ago,
this is what it was.
This is what it was. This is what the industry was, and in many cases, this is what the industry still is today. But our desire is to see incremental changes in how the industry operates and to educate dealerships and customers as to what better selling practices might be for the dealership and better buying practices might be for the customers, so that it isn't an adversarial arrangement,
Yep.
which is what it is today. It's like a war of attrition. It's a test of wills, and that's not what it should be.
It should be right now.
Well, it should just be there's a product that has a price. Either I want to buy it or I don't want to buy it. And if I want to buy it, I just go in and I say I want to buy it, and the whole transaction time takes 15 to 20 minutes, as opposed to, well, we're going to argue about the price of this for a couple hours, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, depending upon when we start this process. And that's not the way it should be. And so we're trying through education, through humor, through past experiences to educate and to change how things happen.
Definitely. All right, so hopefully you got some amusement out of this. I sure did. Nice to know. I never knew you drove a pickup truck once in your life. That's incredible.
It was just once.
Yeah. So join us on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Still unsure of all the time zones in between. Join us.
Yes.
A 1 hour, maybe even longer.
Your choice is bad football or bad live stream. I would go with the bad live stream.
I'm looking forward to it, Dad.
Me too. Maybe we'll have some turkey with that.
I'm thinking we probably will.
Okay, let's get in touch with Castle's.
It's the grocery store down here.
Yes, it is.
All right, thanks for watching.
Yep, bye-bye now.